Hey, what's going on? This your guy, Bert with Mississippi Vibes. We talking about dealing with adversity while losing weight. I got a friend online with me. Her name Liz, and I'll let her introduce herself, and we'll just go from there. Liz, you with me?
I am with you.
Yes, I would like for you to introduce yourself so people can know who you are, what you got going on, and we'll go from there.
Hello everybody. My name is Liz. I am a resident of New Jersey. I can't say born and raised because I was actually born in Cleveland, Ohio, by accident, but that's a totally different story. But I am currently living right outside of Atlantic City, close to Philadelphia in New Jersey. And I was absolutely surprised and honored to be a guest on today's podcast. So I don't know what else you'd like me to share at this point, but
You good. Thank you for taking this opportunity. And you have a podcast also, and you have a Instagram. So if you let the people know, your hashtag so they can follow you and go from there.
Sure. My podcast is called The Pink Bag Podcast, and it's on iTunes and on Podbean. And I have a couple of Instagram handles. The main one is Witty Bombshell, WITTY Bombshell. And I also have Real People Fitness _RPF. And that's the latest Instagram page that I created to really just document my health and wellness and fitness journey that I've been on over the course of the past 3.5 years.
Okay, great. So let's get right into it. When today, what made me contact you when I seen your before and after picture of your journey of your weight loss, which is very remarkable. What put you on the course that you had to get your health back in line with how you wanted to go?
I can say that throughout my entire life, my weight has truly been a roller coaster. Up and down, no real consistency. When I look back, I'll have pictures where I was fit. I'll have pictures where I was not fit. I'll have, pictures where I'm kind of going like, who am I? Who was I?
Right.
And, what really, I would say, resonated with me recently was that roughly about 4 years ago now, I actually had an accident within my home where I fell down. It was only 2 steps in my house. But I literally could not catch myself. I literally could not keep my balance. And I ended up fracturing and tearing ligaments within both ankles. And that landed me in a boot on one foot, a brace on the other one, and in physical therapy. And
wow.
While I was going through that time period, I realized, I said I need to change, my life. If I weighed less, if I was physically stronger, I know that my healing process would have been quicker. And I also know that my injuries probably wouldn't have been as substantial. So when I was able to just, get back to walking, I went ahead and did some research, and I signed up to do Weight Watchers, believe it or not. And I followed the Weight Watchers program now for this entire time. It's, just my way of eating, because it's all about balance. And then I began to incorporate some exercise. After starting Weight Watchers, about 6 months in, I started to just incorporate a little bit of exercise. So it was really just like riding the stationary bike, and it progressed from there.
Okay. So Weight Watchers was you that's the calorie count, or how do that go? I seen it, but I never dug into it.
Yeah. So Weight Watchers, it's not about calorie counting. Weight Watchers has been around since 1964, and it's really based upon science. So it takes a lot of different factors into account. But based upon your age, based upon your gender, based upon your weight, based upon your goals, what happens is you are assigned a certain number of points that you can eat per day, and every food has a points value. And what really is great about Weight Watchers to me is that there's nothing that's off limits. Like, I'm somebody who likes to eat. I'm a foodie. I even have a foodie page. That's another page that I have. But, you know, that's tough when you like to eat, yet you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to get fit. So that's what I liked about Weight Watchers. Every food has a points value. So, for instance, you know, dinner today I had grilled chicken breast, and I had, you know, some kale, and I also had some brown rice. That dinner was 0 points with Weight Watchers.
Zero.
So that then leaves 0, because they've now gotten it down to a science where the amount of carbs, protein, fiber, all of that stuff, there's a bunch of foods depending on the plan that are 0 points. So that saves time for, or points for, like right now, I have a glass of wine that I'm sitting here sipping on while we're talking, and the glass of wine is 4 points. So it's all about sustainability and balance.
So how many points you get a day?
Well, see, that depends on the program that you're on Weight Watchers. So they've now, again, it's evolved over the course of time. So right now there are 3 different versions of the plan. They are color-coded, right? So I'm on the purple plan. And with the purple plan, I get 16 points a day, which doesn't sound like much. But I also have over 300 foods that are 0 points. Okay? And then I also have a bank of what I call cheat points that I can use if I need to eat or if I go over my points. And in addition to that, if you exercise or you're active, you gain more points that you can use to eat as well. But if I were on the blue plan, I would have 23 points per day. If I was on the green plan, I'd have 30 points per day. But with each of those plans, the number of 0 point foods gets less and less.
Oh, okay. So was this a daily with your cheat points, this a daily, or do they roll over, or how do you use it to in your benefit?
You know, that's a good question, and everybody's different. What I do is, you know, the program has actually taught me a lot about myself and my eating habits, right? And so I pick the day. The day I weigh in every week is on Saturday.
Okay.
So that's when my new week starts, Saturday. So I literally will use my cheat points for the week on Saturday and Sunday. I'm a weekend eater. I like to have those foods that I like. Like this past weekend, I had some buffalo wings. I had some pizza. You know, I had some chips with some, queso dip. And that's really where I used up my cheat points within those couple of days or that day and a half.
Okay.
But throughout the week, because I work out as well, I've gained additional cheat points that I can use if I need to. But everybody's different. Now, if you don't use all your points in one day, you roll over a certain number of points into the next day. So again, it's a very fluid, just scientific plan that they've nailed down. And it works. I've gotten rid of over 60 pounds over the course of the 3.5 years, and I've kept it off.
That's a round of applause right there. 60 pounds, that's, people don't understand the motivation, the drive, and what you have to do to focus, to change your mind to get to that level. And I was there when I went from 370 to 260. No, I was 368, and I got down to 260. So
that deserves a round of applause too, for real.
Right, but I put some back on. So right now I'm in the progress of, I have lost 20 pounds of the 30. What I was trying to lose 40. So I lost the 20 pounds of it, but I think I'm go for some more and to reach my goal to get back down to where I need to be. So doing your weight loss journey, because I seen different pictures how you say your weight went up, went down. What was your main adversity that you was dealing with that we can help people who probably going through the same adversity that don't know how to, overcome that?
Yeah, that's a good question. What first comes to mind is a couple of things. Number one is I wasn't patient with myself, right?
Okay.
We want to lose weight overnight. So we will try fad diets. We will try, diet pills. We will try girls that have waist trainers. We will try any and everything to make the weight come off overnight, when we didn't realize that the weight didn't come on overnight. Right? It didn't come on overnight. So, I had to realize that realistic and healthy weight loss for myself and for everybody is a half a pound to 2 pounds a week. And I also had to realize that those weeks where I may lose 0.2, 0.4, those add up.
Right.
If you think about, oh man, I only lost a quarter of a pound in a week, right?
Okay.
A quarter of a pound is a stick of butter. That is what a stick of butter weighs. It weighs a quarter of a pound.
Wow.
So if you're not happy about that, again, because the mindset shift is like the number one piece with this all. No weight loss will start, no weight loss will be maintained unless you change your mindset, shift your mindset to the way you think.
Exactly.
About weight loss. And that's really where where it all started for me.
Right. Was
when I had to shift my mindset. And I can also share that through the course of reflecting back on things, my weight, as I said, it fluctuated, but when I wasn't in the right headspace, in particular, when I was in relationships that weren't right for me, that were toxic.
You think that play? Let's. I didn't mean to cut you off. Let's stop right there a second. How much of a factor does a toxic relationship plays into your mental space of getting this weight off? From your view, from your life, what happened with you?
Yeah, it's huge. Like, I can think back to relationships that I entered in one size, one way. And over the course of time in that relationship, I blew up. And it wasn't because I just, people will say, oh, she let herself go. No, there were factors within that relationship that contributed to my mental space. Okay? And so examples that I can share would be a matter of there being broken communication, a matter of there perhaps being infidelity by your partner, you not feeling adequate enough, you being emotionally or verbally abused. These are all things that can contribute to, again, you not being in the right headspace. And then what happens is I can speak for myself, I found comfort in food. Like I said, I like to eat. Right. So I found comfort in food, right? But then I was depressed. And because I was depressed, I didn't want to get up and work out. I was just trying to figure out what was going on with that relationship. So, like I said, it all starts in the mind. And I can look back at those instances and then compare it to the last relationship I was in, where that relationship wasn't perfect, but I still made it my point to put myself first. Right. And with that, I mean, regardless of whatever, I was still getting up every morning going to the gym. We might go out and eat a lot or do whatever, but I'm still tracking my points. We might, go ahead and go somewhere and want to be lazy. I'm still finding a way to be active. I found a way to deal with the stress. I found a way to balance. So it takes time. And that's why I said it's the patience piece too. But real life is a huge factor when it comes down to weight loss. Like I said, relationships, communication, toxicity, friendships, family, all of that comes into play.
So once the removal of that particular person, relationship, situation, how soon did the shift come for you to get back to focusing on you and your business of this weight loss?
spaces where that didn't happen. Because again, my mind still wasn't right. I was still stuck on what the relationship had done to me, right? Whether it was mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever that is. So it wasn't until, if I were to look back again to 4 years ago, I literally committed to myself that I said, this is for me. This is my health and wellness journey. This is now my new lifestyle. I entered into a relationship, 2 years into that. And again, it wasn't a perfect relationship, but I didn't gain any weight like I would have in the past.
Okay.
Because I, at that point, 4 years, again, ago, had said, no, Liz, you put yourself first. That didn't mean that he wasn't a priority, but I didn't let all of those things that life is going to happen. Life is going to happen regardless. So I learned I can't let the relationship itself break the habits that I've created, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. And I really appreciate that. You being open and honest with that, so, people can get a clear understanding of how situational relationships can be a major determining factor in your weight.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just, again, it could be a relationship, between a partner, a husband, a wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever that is. But it could also be relationships, with family, relationships with friends. And that's why I said life is going to happen. So you have to find that mental space where you are able to kind of control what you can control, keep your peace, protect your time, to focus on yourself and on doing the things that you know are best for you from an all-up health and wellness perspective.
Okay, so now after that comes you back, you in your mental space, you ready to get on the grind. You ready to bring Liz back to the forefront. What was your starting point? Where did you start your working out at? Mm-hmm. Your eating, and how did it progress over, the days, weeks, months, and years to where you at now?
Yeah, so, starting with Weight Watchers, it was literally a matter of, once I saw just sticking to the plan, right, like tracking my points, after 6 months, I saw, at that point, I'd say 6 months, I probably lost about 20 pounds, right?
Okay.
And at that point, I said, let me start adding in a little bit of activity. So I literally would just do 30 minutes on the stationary bike in a gym 3 days a week. That was it. It was literally just my 30 minutes of, riding the bike 3 times a week. And that helped with, kicking off a little more weight loss. But what I found was that I said to myself, my only competition is the person in the mirror. So I don't need to worry about, the person that's running 5 miles on a treadmill next to me, or the person doing pull-ups, right? I said, I'm going to take my time with this. And once I felt that I had lost enough weight to be comfortable with a trainer, I actually went and got a personal trainer. Okay. And what the trainer did was, I learned a lot from the trainer. I learned a lot about building up endurance. That was one thing that he really helped me understand.
Yes.
And, he was, because I did a bit of boxing. Like, I stepped out of my comfort zone. I boxed once upon a time, years back. And I said, I want to start boxing again. So I picked up some boxing gloves. We would work out in a boxing gym. But we would also do, other high-intensity workouts in between. But what I learned from him, too, on the flip side, he had other clients, and he was doing the same workouts with them. And I said to him, this is not personal training. I said, you're taking cookie cutter training, and you're using it for everybody. And his thing was, well, my plan works. I said, well, I'm not paying for a plan, right? So I stopped training with him, and at that point, I started to research on my own.
Right.
Where I said, what do I want to make stronger? Where do I need to tone up? Where do I need to, lose some weight from? And that's when I literally just kind of kicked it into high gear, where I followed a lot of great people on Instagram. I went ahead and started researching my own personal training certification. I read books, and that's why I was able to now still lose, again, those additional 40 plus pounds, but I was now building muscle, which was something that I hadn't seen in such a long time. And I started to feel strong. And I realized at that moment, this is how I want to feel. I want to feel strong. If I need to, pardon my French, I don't know if we can curse on here, but if I need to kick someone's, I can do that.
Right.
If I need to outrun somebody, I now can do that. If I need to run up and down the stairs in my house, I'm not out of breath.
Right.
And so that's really where a lot of the fuel for just kind of keeping myself going and challenging myself daily came from.
Right. That's one thing that had helped me. I got with he's my family, Antoine Edwards. He played in the NFL. So what I was doing, I was losing weight. I was losing inches. So, but I knew that I had to take it to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went to him, I had lost weight, I had lost inches, but I realized walking those miles and lifting that little weight wasn't nothing.
Yep.
Cause he took me on a journey of what my body was. He would test and see in the beginning how he can push me. But everything he did, I don't know if he used it with others or whatever, but it was tailored to what I needed. And like you said, I felt 20 again.
Yes.
I felt like you said, I was ready to go to war. I was ready to, if I need to run, if I need to, whatever the battle would come, I'm ready for it. So I understand it exactly what you mean about that. And so
it's interesting because initially I think everybody starts out because they want to lose weight to look better, right?
Yes.
And I think that it's along that journey where you realize it's more to just the aesthetics, right? Because for me, even though I lost 60 plus pounds, I'm never going to be skinny. And I don't want to be skinny.
Right.
But I learned that I can't live and die by the number on that scale. Because as I started to build up muscle, the scale may not have moved. And a lot of times people get confused, where they say muscle weighs more than fat. And that's not true. Muscle and fat weigh the same. If you were to take a pound of cotton balls and compare it to a pound of sand, they both weigh a pound. The difference, though, is your pound of cotton balls, think how many cotton balls it takes to make a pound, right? So that's fat. The cotton balls are fat. The sand, think how little bit of sand it takes to weigh a pound. The sand is lean muscle. So although they weigh the same amount, they both take up different amounts of space within your body.
Okay. Wow. I never knew that. So you've been digging deep into the scientific things of this weight loss thing. You've been on it.
Yeah, because I had to do that in order for it to truly be a lifestyle for me, right? Like as I've gotten older, and I'm going to be 43 in 2 weeks, and I realize, our bodies change as we get older, right? Like
right.
I still, even like you said, you felt 20, like I felt 20 as well, but sometimes our body will remind us, you ain't 20, girl, sit down, right?
Right.
Regardless. But the one thing that, I shared earlier, which was that, what kind of started this for me was me being injured and how long it took me to heal. Well, I can say literally about a month and a half ago, in the middle of a workout, I injured myself. Ankles again, injured myself. And I felt it the minute it happened. But it took me, no lie, 4 days to heal.
For real?
Compared to back then, it was months, it was physical therapy, it was all of that. That blew my mind. Where I said, wow, because my body is a healing machine now. It's strong.
Right.
I'm eating right. I don't have as much weight. Every pound that you lose, 1 pound equals 5 pounds of pressure off of your knees and back.
Say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
Every 1 pound that you lose equals 5 pounds of pressure that is removed from your knees, your back, your joints.
Man.
So where I lost, I'll say 60 pounds on average. That's 300 pounds of pressure off of my knees, my joints, and my back. 300 pounds.
Wow.
Crazy.
See, that's something I never knew. But it's crazy. We have a similar story. My best friend, I was having a football camp in Mississippi. I went home, and he looked at me. He was like, "Man, if you don't stop, you'll kill yourself. You too big, man." Mm-hmm. And so I knew it. I thought about it, but you know how you going through life, and things are still okay, and you still you're really not okay. But it was a time I was in a car accident, and I went to the chiropractor, and that's when I got on that scale and I seen that number. But that 368, and I told myself I can't hit 4. So it's time to go to work. So after I went to work, losing weight, and when I had got down to like my 260, I messed around and had a partially torn ligament in my foot. And so that what made me sit down for a few weeks. It was like a month or so, about 2-3 months to be honest. And that's that old mindset kicked back in. And I fell off. So, but for the last month, I told myself, then my brother wedding had motivated me that, I can't beat on a big dude standing up right now. I can't
but you know what? But you had, even though it was the wedding, right?
Right.
Another thing I tell people, or another thing that Weight Watchers helped me to realize, because Weight Watchers is more than the eating, it's more than the weighing in. If you attend workshops each week, in person, now they're doing them virtually with everything that's going on.
Right.
But there's a message each week. And one thing that really just stuck with me for a really long time is that you have to keep your why close by.
Why? Yes.
Right? And for you, that was the wedding recently, right?
Right.
That's why you're doing it, right? But everybody has a why. And you always have to keep that close by and remember.
Yes. And come up with different whys every day, every week, every month if you have to. For real. But I want the audience, I want everybody to understand that it can be done without surgery. I'm not, I believe that's a form of cheating. But that's just my opinion, my view on it, whatever they feel that they need to do. But I just want people to know that coming from Liz, you can drop this 60 pounds on your own. Coming from me, you can drop 100. It's just your will, your drive, your determination every day to get up, at least 5 days a week, to get up and do it and clean out that pantry, clean out that refrigerator. And you got to throw those sodas and all those juices and all those Fruit Loops and oatmeal pies and pork and all that stuff that's knocking down your body. You got to throw all that away. So
you are absolutely right, because, and again, even though I did say, Weight Watchers is all about balance, right? You can still have those things, but it teaches you moderation, right? And to put it into perspective, like for instance, there was somebody that comes to my meetings, another Weight Watchers person, and she just couldn't give up Coca-Cola. Like she said, Liz, I drink at least, I forget how many she said a week. So I said to her, Miss Gloria, I said, do you realize every bottle of Coca-Cola you're drinking is 10 points? She said, what? I said, so 10. And I told you I get 16 a day.
Right. So a can has knocked her down.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. And so even in like right now, as we all are, sheltering in place and we're in quarantine, like I have a Post-it note on my refrigerator that says, remember your goals. I literally have that Post-it note on my fridge that says, remember your goals, because now that everyone is home more than they typically would be,
right?
It's harder. I've even made it a point too, like you said, clean out your pantry. I don't keep the craziness within my house. I don't keep it within my house. If I'm hungry, I'm going to go ahead and eat something that's better for me, that's lower in points. I have fruit. I have vegetables. If I do, like I said, I do on the weekend indulge, but I will have just enough for the weekend, and then throughout the week, I don't have it anymore. Right. It's setting myself up for success. I can control what's in my house.
You right about that.
Right? We can control what is in our house.
Right. Wow, I'm just thinking. So, I just lost my thought for a second. Anything you want to say or ask me or whatever while I'm trying to,
Yeah. I can... One thing I'll say is that people just need to be patient with themselves, right? And for you to lose 100 pounds, that didn't happen overnight, right? Me to lose the 60 plus pounds, that didn't happen overnight. And within that weight loss, there has to be self-love, regardless of the weight that you're at, right? Regardless of the weight that you're at. I shared with some ladies the other day in the Facebook group that I have. It was this post, and the question was simple. It said, how many times have you canceled something, did not go somewhere because you weren't physically where you wanted to be? You didn't feel you were good enough physically. And that resonated with me, because I said, you know what? I said, years ago, there were so many things that I passed up doing. Pictures I passed up taking.
Yes.
Because I didn't like the way that I looked.
Yes.
And that was deeper than just the weight, right? I didn't love myself. Because I'm still the same Liz.
Right.
Regardless if I'm 60, 70 pounds heavier, or right now, I'm still the same Liz at the core. And I had to physically, literally, mentally, emotionally learn to love myself regardless. And to also remember that it's a journey. There are weeks that I gain weight. It's a journey. It's up and it's down. It's not a matter of perfection. It's a matter of consistency and discipline and dedication to yourself.
And that's the thing right there, the dedication to yourself. I used to be, Liz, I'm tell you, I was so gone mentally in my head that at 370, I thought I was still okay. Mm-hmm. But when I went back and looked at those pictures and looked at different moments of, just different moments, and I really was fooling myself to think that I was cool. Mm-hmm. But I was, like you said, I was stressed, I was depressed, I was a bad partner, I was a bad father. Different investments that I did was going bad. I had a lot of stress on top of me, and like you said, I just sat and ate.
Yeah.
I just sat and ate. Then, walking, getting up, trying to put on clothes or this and that, it was so much. It was overwhelming. And you go and we put on this facade for people, but all the time in the inside we are dying and crying and just and we don't, it's and sometimes a lot of people, even myself, well, let me just continue to eat it, it's gonna be okay. When it should be the opposite of let me chill out, let me change my mindset, and I'm gonna be okay. So I went and I'm back on my fasting thing. I eat from 12 to 8.
Okay.
When I get up at 5 every morning, I drink water until noon. I make sure before I shower, make sure before I go to bed, I drink me a bottle or two of water. I don't eat after 8, and I'm back motivated to get on the grind to do what I have to do and to keep this off, because I got my son watching, I got my kids watching,
yes.
got people watching. So
that's the truth.
Right.
And you mentioned just not being like, kind of putting up a facade and just not being happy inside. And I can remember, like, there was a point when I didn't even like to look at myself in the mirror.
Right.
Like, I literally didn't like to look at myself in the mirror. And to your point, getting dressed, going shopping, like, I didn't want to do any of that because nothing fit the way that I thought it should, fit. And that, to your point, it kind of takes you down this spiral of, well, you know what? I'm going to find comfort in this food, and I'm just going to continue eating, to kind of drown out my sorrows, when we don't realize we can literally stop immediately, right? How many times I've told myself in the past, oh, okay, my diet starts on Monday. Let me just eat everything in the house over the weekend, right? My diet starts on Monday.
Don't go there.
Right? And then Monday comes, and what happens?
We floating the next Monday.
Next Monday, right?
Right.
But I've learned to also not beat myself up when I have, like I said, my weekends where I indulge, right? Or even if it's not, let's say it's a Wednesday. We go out, or a Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday somewhere, and everybody goes out, and I've had some margaritas or whatever. And in the past, I would beat myself up and say, I messed up the whole week. I'm going to start Monday. Now what I do is I go, I hold myself accountable. I still track everything I ate, and I start immediately. I drink that water to reset the button, like you said, and here we go. I'm back on it, as opposed to, well, this week's ruined. Let me start Monday.
Right, I got you. So, this last question. How much of influence or how much of weight do the people around you play into your weight loss? And what I'm saying is, because you have a lot of friends, family, whoever that's around you, telling you okay, you still you still look good, but I never see being overweight as a healthy or a good thing. So how much weight does those people hold?
Yep, that's a great question. A really good question. What I will share is, first comment I'll make is that, your friend that called you out on that football field, we all need friends like that. Right?
Yeah, we were sitting on this couch. Okay.
But we all need that friend that's going to call us out and call us higher. Right. Because the majority of our family and our friends, unfortunately, aren't going to necessarily do that. And I can say that, well, I'll start off by saying this. A lot of people don't know. I'm black and white. Right? So a lot of people look at me, they assume I'm Spanish, or, they assume anything other than any part of black. But I was raised by the black side of my family.
Okay.
And typically what I have found in the black family community, etc., we don't necessarily hold health as high as we should. You are told as a woman growing up that men don't like bones, dogs like bones, right? Like men want a woman that has some meat. on their body. And, oh, no, girl, you look better when you fill X, Y, or Z out, in an outfit, whatever it is, while no one is really thinking about, well, all of this extra weight, what it's doing to my heart, what it's doing to my knees, my back, my overall well-being. So I can say that early on, a good portion of family and friends, and they came from a place of positive intent by saying, no, girl, you look good regardless. That's what they would say. You look good with the weight, without the weight, like you look good regardless.
Right.
I can remember the first time that I lost a substantial amount of weight was my freshman year in college. And I came home. I even had family members that was like, yo, you look like you're on drugs, like you're too small. And I'm like, what? Like, that was me in my prime. Like, I'm talking, the football coach at Morgan State University would commend me on my dedication in that gym each morning.
Right.
But I came home and they're like, ew, like, why'd you lose all of that weight, girl? You need to put some of that weight back on. And then that contributed to the ups and downs, that I had. But I will commend the males that I had within my family. They were always much more active than the females. And my cousins, my nephews, they would try to encourage me to stay consistent with the working out. So I really had like a mixed bag of support from different sides, right? Where, nope, you look better with the weight on, to the male figure saying, come on, like, let's be active, like, let's just build this lifestyle up. And it was because of a lot of that it contributed to different highs and lows within my life. But right now, my family, my friends, everybody wholeheartedly supports me and my transformation. And we'll literally now, when we get together, might be like, oh, well, we know Liz ain't going to eat X, Y, or Z like she used to. So, we're good. And I'm like, cool. Y'all know that. So there's no peer pressure anymore to do X, Y, or Z.
Right. To eat them pork chops.
Right. I'm going to have one, maybe not two or three, right?
Right.
So.
But why do us in the African American community, when they haven't seen you for a minute and you come back, how do drugs, cocaine, I don't understand how they came aligned together like that.
I don't either. I don't either. And it's never a matter of, oh, wow, like, congratulations. It literally is she sick, right? Is it drugs, or is she sick, or she got the package, or she, what? No, how about I just started to do what was right. Like, we do it all the time. You can't be too small, you can't be too big, because if you're too big, then, ooh, she done packed on them pounds, is she pregnant? Like, where you want me to be?
Right. It ain't even really about you, it's about me.
Right.
Yeah, respect what I'm just trying to do and how I'm trying to go. You probably need to jump on this train with me, and we can be here together when we 70 or 80.
Yes.
Right. So, Liz, I want to thank you, congratulate you again for your weight loss, congratulate you for how you motivate and helping people around the world that you think's not watching you. But we watching, and thank you for your motivation to keep us growing and working towards our goal. And hats off to you, kudos and everything. We're gonna have to do this again because we have to keep informing the world about what's really going on with your body. Yeah, you go be the go-to person to come with and let them know about the, one stick of butter that's this and that, and the cotton come to a quarter of a pound and all that technical and break it down. But
I truly appreciate you. Again, I was humbled when you reached out, and asked, and I truly appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share my story. I appreciate you for noticing. And it has truly been a sobering experience for me when things like this do happen, because I have had people reach out for different, whether it is, to ask questions, tips and tricks, to ask me to be on a podcast, to even say, listen, like, hey, I don't know you, I follow you, but, you are, inspirational. Like, what? Like, that blew my mind. And it took me a while to absorb it and to accept it. But I'm at a point now where I do realize that I have that superpower.
Right.
And I say it in the most, again, humble way, because I want to continue to use my superpower to help other people along their journey and to show, listen, I'm a real person. If I can do this, anybody can do it.
Right.
Literally.
That's what I tell them. Yeah, God has you here. You see your purpose. Your once we take ourselves out the way and let God really drive the car, we will see how many lives we can touch on so many levels.
Amen.
And he go deal with the naysayers and the haters. You won't even see them, feel them. It's not even in your psyche anymore.
You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head with that, and I literally thank God every day for clearing my vision and for letting me realize my purpose. I do. So
thank you. We go do
Thank
this
you.
again. We go do this again soon, whenever you have time, and we go come up with some new great information for people so they can get off the couch or keep going or keep motivating themselves and letting them know that if me and Liz can do it, hey.
There you go.
So
everybody.
Right.
Anybody. Yes.
Anybody.
Can do it.
Everybody.
And feel free, like I said, earlier, to follow me on Instagram, request me on
What's your
Facebook.
handles? What's your information again, so they can look you up and get in contact?
Yep. On Instagram, it's Real People Fitness _RPF. That's Real People Fitness _RPF. And then it's also Witty Bombshell, WITTY BOMBSHELL. Those are both on Instagram. Both pages are public. So you can just go ahead and follow. I'll follow back. But I try to post daily, of my workouts that I do, some healthy cooking that I do from time to time, and just some other motivational, inspirational, funny things from time to time. So, again, thank you so much. I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity to share my story.
No, thank you for your time, and you have a great night.
All right. You as well.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right. So once again, this is Mississippi Live from Bert. You just heard it from her, from Liz. She told you her story. She told you the steps. Her steps might not be your steps, but as long as you get up and give an effort to reach your goal, to grow into what you want to be, understand your options, understand the reality of the situation, and have the will to just get up, take a walk. That's all it starts from. Take you a walk. So, I'm out. Take care. Peace.